Let's go. It's your boy, Ariel Helwani. I will be hosting today. I'm not used to this. I got one of these earpieces in. So far, they're just playing weird shit in there. But welcome to the Battle of the Giants press conference. We are so excited. This is going to be the biggest heavyweight fight in MMA this year. We have some yeah, give it up. Don't be shy. Make some noise. It's the Predator versus the Problema, and it is going down on ESPN Plus pay-per-view and DAZN worldwide Saturday, October 19th in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia.
In life, when you set goals, it seems you always meet them. So now that you're back in MMA, back in the PFL, what is your goal now that you're back in MMA again?
You know, my goal right now is not just about like being back in MMA. It's about being back in activity, in combat sport in general. It's being back in what I love. And then I think I always have a purpose. I always look forward for my purpose, the reason why I'm doing. And lately, things been a little tough. You know, I haven't questioned if I have to continue or if I should just hang off the gloves and stuff. But then I realized that that should be a purpose for me. You know, like I didn't have a chance to fight for my son, man. So I think this is it.
Thank you, Francis. Appreciate that. And for Renan, if we could, Renan, obviously you've been thinking about this fight for a long time. It is official now. You've had a chance to size up Francis. We're looking forward to this face-off here momentarily. But what are your initial impressions now that you see him face-to-face and what he offers you as an opponent?
O Francis é grande atleta, eu sempre acompanhei ele, os nocautes e tudo. Pessoalmente, eu já sabia que ele era tudo isso, então eu tenho me preparado a vida toda para lutar com caras grandes, com caras como ele. Então, assim, não me impressionou, eu já sabia como que ele era.
Look, Francis is a great athlete, and I've been following his career for a very long time, and I've been impressed by his career and his feats for a very long time. So meeting him in person, it just came to solidify everything that I thought and I knew. He's a big man, he's got big power, and I'm excited for this fight.
And lastly, how do you evaluate him as a fighter at this point, right? It's been 2.5 years since we've seen him as a mixed martial artist. He's been boxing. So do you expect the same version? Do you expect something different because he has time away? What do you expect from an opponent?
Com certeza é bastante tempo, né? Fora dos cages, é totalmente diferente. O Francis tem feito lutas de boxe, que é outra pegada. Então, eu acho que ele vai sentir um pouco de diferença, mas ele é um guerreiro, é um lutador. Mas ele tem um grande problema pela frente. Ele sabe que vai ter uma dificuldade imensa, tanto na trocação quanto na parte de grappling, porque ele sabe que eu posso nocautear ou finalizar ele a qualquer momento.
Yeah, 2.5 years, a long time. I think like I said, he's a great athlete, but the cage is the cage. It's going to bring, you know, other challenges. And as I said, and I say it before, I'll say it again, he has a big problem ahead of him. He knows I have knockout power. I can wrestle him. I can bring him down to the ground. I can knock him out. I can submit him. So again, he has a big problem ahead of him.
All right, how you doing, Francis? I have one question for you, one question for you, Renan. My name is Brian Mazik. I'm from Forbes, and it's a pleasure to get the opportunity to talk to you. My question is, over the past week, there's been a lot of conversation on the back end of Israel Adesanya's fight, and he has shown you so much respect, and he has continued to make it a point to make your accomplishments and your experience not be forgotten. And so recently there was something that kind of bubbled up about that, and it came to a head, and we kind of found out what happened. My question is, how does it make you feel to get that level of support and have that loyalty shown to you by someone close to you like Israel Adesanya?
You know, it's always great. I mean, since we didn't know each other before we get here, we get in our combat sport career, you know, and then we had to know each other, and then since then, I like my first fight was on the same card with Usman, and then we hook up. Then Adesanya came after, and then we just have a good chemistry and support each other, you know. So it's always been a good chemistry between us, a good support, genuinely, and everybody wishes everybody the best, you know, wishes everybody to dominate in this division or to overcome whatever is going through. So it's been, and whether it's on or off stage, we've been supporting each other, and it's also very comforting, you know, like there are moments that you're up and there are moments that you're down, and then you truly need support from people that care about you, you know. So, and those are very important. Like my first boxing match in Riyadh, we were there a whole week with Adesanya and Usman, and let me tell you what, even though I wasn't knowing what I was getting into, at least I was happy that whatever happened, it happens when I'm surrounded by people that care for me. So you're asking like, who is the best heavyweight?
Yes.
Well, I think for everybody, he's the best heavyweight, and even those who you haven't mentioned, they feel like the best heavyweight, and everybody has his fight. And honestly, like I never chase stuff like that because it's not the most important. I think the most important is to go there and do your best. You know, give everything that you have in one of each and every fight that is in front of you, and then. Whether it's in life, in sport, or whatever you're doing. So that's for me like the goal, you know, is to do my best. As long as I give my best, I make sure that I give my best. I make sure that I left no stone unturned. I'm okay with whatever it is. And then the idea of chasing who is the best heavyweight, like all over social media, is not something that I'm very excited about.
Table?
I do train with Mike Tyson, and that was for one fight, for my first fight against Tyson Fury. But what I'm gonna say is that boxing is a complete different sport, man. Like it might still be a combat sport, but it's very different from MMA, where it's the stand, the approach, and everything. So it's quite different, and it's very hard to take something. Yes, maybe you can, if you get some speed, if you gain some speed, have some. Clarity on your target, you know, that will help you in MMA, but those are completely two different sports.
And we heard UFC boss Dana White say earlier this summer that Francis didn't want to fight John Jones. Can you provide clarity that you didn't want to fight John back then, and regardless of how that fight could happen, is it a fight you would still take in the future?
Repeat your question, please.
Dana White said earlier this summer that Francis didn't want to fight John Jones. Can you clarify back then that you would have fought John Jones, and if that fight could happen, is it one you would still welcome?
Well, I think that's the new narrative. Since he needs to say something either way, you know. But as far as I'm concerned, he was John didn't want to fight for me, according to them. And so many times that we sit down on the meeting, I'm like, oh, it can happen. John doesn't want to fight anymore. You know, like he lives in Albuquerque. He doesn't. He lives his small life. He has a lot of money in his bank account. You know, so I think. The guy who controls the narrative can say whatever he wants. But that's just the narrative. I was the one requesting the John fight, but I didn't want that like a, I don't know how to say, like a trap to get into some deal and get to something that I didn't want. You know, I want things to be straight and square. You know, so yes, I wanted to fight John Jones, but in a good condition, not just to fight, to be paid out.
Thanks, Francis.
Thank you.
Hey, Francis. The night that you fight Renan Ferreira, it'll end a 1,001-day layoff from mixed martial arts. With the boxing training camps in mind, was there a challenge in rewiring yourself to get back into mixed martial arts?
I think the challenge is not into rewiring myself into mixed martial art. You know, the challenge is about like going out there, you know, and deliver and be me again, you know, and have that aggressivity, have that determination, you know. So that's where my challenge is located right now. You know, I don't have any challenge going back into mixed martial art. As I said before, I just felt like it was, I was riding the bike and I used to do, so that's my challenge.
I love it. And for Renan, what was your assessment of Francis's boxing bouts with Fury and AJ?
Eu acho que na primeira luta surpreendeu a todos ali, né? Mostrou que como um peso pesado que tem mãos duras, mãos fortes. Já na segunda luta eu achei que ele não foi tão bem, né? Teve algumas coisas ali que ele errou bastante e se aventurou. Mas é isso, tá acostumado com o MMA e é totalmente diferente, é outra arte. Mas fiquei satisfeito também pela abertura aí que ele tem feito, né? Mostrar que a gente do MMA também pode ir para outros eventos, para outras modalidades e sair bem.
I think, needless to say, he did well on the first fight. You know, had great moments. Second fight, I think he got a little too relaxed, complacent, and, you know, got into too much of a little adventure for that one. But I mean, props to him. I'm happy for him, and I'm happy for MMA. It shows that we can go out there and we can hang out with the boxers as well, and we can make our sport proud.
I'm not going to put you between these two behemoths. All right, the Battle of the Giants. We're gonna have the problem child. Jake Paul is actually the perfect person to put between these two monsters. Dan, go ahead and call out Renan for me.
Okay, first to the stage, the Problema, Renan for Renan.
And making his mixed martial arts return, the Predator, Francis Ngannou.
Let's go, baby. Let's go. Let's go.
Yeah, let's go. You're gonna face a real champion.
Yeah. All right. Face forward. Face forward.
Good.
Let's go.
Battle of the Giants, ladies and gentlemen. October 19th, the Mayadeen in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Thank you, Hannah. Thank you, Francis. It's great to have you guys here. That's all done. Woo. Jake, before we let you out of here, I want to talk about that moment. Look, you're a big guy. Between those two, you don't look quite so big. Tell me what that moment was like.
I'm not gonna lie, I wouldn't have done anything if they would have started fighting. I was trying to hold them back, and it wasn't doing anything. They're very, very, very strong.
All right, we heard Francis talking about it, right? This is a guy who's been in the boxing world. You've been in that boxing world. Now he comes back to the sport where he made his name, where he made his fame, he made his fortunes. What do you think that transition back to a cage is going to be like for Francis?
Yeah, look, he has a lot to prove, right? The pressure's on him. You know, he came from the UFC, now in this massive, massive fight against an amazing competitor who has amazing power, amazing speed, is obviously 6'8", 85-inch reach. So I'm excited for this, and Francis has that chip on his shoulder because the whole UFC and all the MMA fans are going to be watching to see what he can do, and is he the best heavyweight still in the world, in this division?